Good morning, people.
Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Brooks. I got an email about 5 minutes ago from Gary Grow. He hadn't received any sort of link. I forwarded him my email from the Community Cup Classic Foundation. Haven't heard from him since. I
Okay.
hope that's enough.
Yeah, too bad we don't have his phone number. That's to me a more reliable. Did he respond that he received your email?
I can email him back and ask for a phone number.
Yeah. That's strange that he hasn't gotten anything. And I've checked with folks who registered way back in January and they got the email.
Well, there's got to be something strange go on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Quiet. We're making a transition. There's we shall see.
Okay.
It's all in the hands of AOL now. Should I send him a carrier pigeon, see if it gets to
Yeah.
me quicker?
Yeah. Well, his pigeons are dancing anyway. So, hello, Lena. Oh, is that one I need to go on a diet profile there? Juan, I need some more beer.
Juan, I'm ignoring you, Ike.
Well, there's the DJ. Yeah, maybe they can't hear us.
Maybe. Or maybe they just don't want to.
Perhaps as they're readying themselves. Look like an emoji.
Oh. Yep. Can you hear us, Ike?
Very faintly.
All right, hold on. What about now?
Well, that's better.
Hello? Yeah, I heard you talking about us. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Good thing we didn't get to that real hard stuff, huh?
Gary Crow.
Good morning, Gary.
With the name Juan Goodwin.
I'm not awake yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we were just talking about you. I take it you received Dominic's email.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why does it say you're Juan Goodwin?
Oh, yes, it does.
Hey, say I've been called worse, Gary. Tell him you've been called worse.
I was going to say, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's interesting, to say the least.
Let's see.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I
there's a
forwarded-
million things I could say, but
I forwarded him my link. So if it said he was Dominic De Niro, there could be a logic to that.
Gary, you never got the emails?
no.
Your yeah, I know your email. I put it in there twice. Like I saw it in there, and then I added it again. I just sent the email right now. Let me know if you get. Let me check to see, make sure which email.
Have you checked spam folders and
Yeah, I looked at the spam stuff this morning, but there wasn't anything in there either.
Okay, I'm gonna check right now.
Okay.
That's
now it says you're
just-
Gary Grow.
Yes, it does. Well, we're getting there.
You've transformed before our very eyes.
We're getting there.
I remember when you were Juan Goodwin.
Those are the days.
Well, it's some good material. I better leave it alone.
Yeah, I was going to
Please
say,
believe.
we don't want to go too far with this. We should probably stop now.
Where's Alex Haley when we need him? Huh? Hey, tell that kid behind you to check out this sweatshirt, Michael.
Hold on. He said, check out the sweatshirt. Oh, that's nice.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Okay, all right. Is that all you can say?
Yeah. Oh, hey. I'm like, I'm trying to. You're not sure which one. Ike, look at Ike's sweatshirt. Oh.
Oh,
Did he say about Lily?
I think you got a jacket too. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. You have a jacket, right, Ike?
no, not a jacket. Oh, well, nah, it says more sweatshirty.
Yeah, I thought I saw something added on there.
Yeah, I'm depending on a certain baseball player to supply a jacket or something. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
They get their stuff next week. We're all hopeful he leaves something.
Yeah. Now, why is he never at school? You know?
They don't start till I start next Thursday, bud. Next Wednesday.
Holy cow!
Oh.
Nice. You can get it.
He's got headphones on that are noise canceling, so he can literally hear nothing. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And you wearing your Michael Irvin
parent
outfit, huh?
canceling.
You said I'm wearing my what?
Michael Irvin stuff.
What this?
Yeah. Doesn't that have a U on the back? Huh?
Yeah, it's a little chilly. Everybody's coming in this wine.
It's a little chilly.
Will the real Juan Goodwin please stand up?
Yeah, there's another one good
Yeah.
one.
It's
There's
all
a
over the
certain
place.
trend going
Everybody
on
coming into
too,
this
right?
meeting is Juan Goodwin.
I'll be back, boys.
We are
Wanna go
testing our new registration process.
where
so we
everybody
thank you
knows
as
your
we
name.
Work out the kinks. Morning, Lily.
I could change it though. You can just rename it right here when she get in, so it's all good. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's good. Just testing the audio.
All right. What'd you see, Michael? What'd you see to make you make a face like that?
I'm trying to find out why Gary's not getting the emails. Yeah, everybody showing up is that one.
Hey, Bruce, mind if we call you Juan Goodwin just to keep things straight?
Someone else came in?
Another Juan Goodwin. I wonder who
Oh,
that
yeah.
is.
With the Ohio State outfit on. I mean, Michigan, isn't it?
Yeah, seriously, get it straight. We're the national champions. They're not.
Go
We're
blue.
definitely kicking her out
Go
with a
blue.
Michigan sweatshirt. Oh no. Oh no.
Hail to the victors valiant.
Uh,
Hail, hail.
you know what? You know what? I used to like this group. I used to like this. And she's not even gonna put her face. You just gonna have to watch Michigan. Oh no.
Hey, we are a really good team. You should enjoy watching us.
Hey Mike,
Oh,
what happens? Don't if you kick somebody out, they can't come back in for the rest of the year or something, right? You gotta like
Go
come
blue,
in.
go blue, go blue, go
Oh,
there
blue,
you go, Michael
go
knows.
blue, go blue.
Hail.
oh.
I can switch hats. Hold on, I'll be right back.
You running for office, huh?
Oh
Hey,
my
look,
God.
Lily isn't Juan Goodman.
Hey,
Everybody becomes a Juan Goodwin at some point in this thing.
sometimes you wanna go.
I just want to be Juan Goodwin.
Hey, be careful. Once you go Juan, you never go back. Is that it?
Oh, that's too funny.
We are all Juan.
We are one.
Mike,
Yeah,
that's
We
the
are
one.
one.
email that I sent Gary the link and he received it from me.
Hi,
So
Gary.
I don't know what's
Hi, how are
going on.
you?
Good.
Well, the one out
Is
of
this
two
going to
is not
become
bad.
Alumni Day?
I'm still recovering from the Browns loss. So.
No expectations.
I think
No,
this is
no,
worse.
Because they lived up to those.
yeah, they usually do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Only
that was
thing you can
terrible.
expect is they would do something that has never been done. That's
Hey, this
it.
is worse to make the playoffs and get thrashed like that. I feel like
Yeah.
I thought we really had a chance.
But how
Okay.
amazing was it that we
Expectations.
made the playoffs with
Yeah, I was
everything
going
that
to say
happened?
we won 11 games. It's that's no small feat. So
Yeah,
Yeah, with 4 quarterbacks,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
2 of them being, like
My
little
age.
guys. Yeah.
well,
Wasn't
if you
it
run through
five
enough of
counting
them,
the
I
guy
guess
who
you'll
did the
find one that can actually
last game of the
play.
regular season?
What's that, Dominic?
Wasn't it 5 quarterbacks with the guy who started the last game of the
Yes,
regular season?
yeah, we had 5
Oh,
guys.
right. Driscoll.
Driscoll, yeah. So 5 starting quarterbacks.
Well, Frank Ryan's still alive, I think.
And just
But
think
his
it would have
but
been
his football is lost somewhere.
in best case scenario, it would have been so Browns to have Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl for the Browns.
Yeah.
Just so Browns. The first one you get is by Joe. Really?
Right.
Yeah,
I had an ad show up on my news feed on my phone for a T-shirt that read "Flacco fan since 2023."
Mm. We just did another so Browns thing when he was the quarterback of the Jets last year. Just continues to add insult to injury.
Yeah, but just remember the Jets letting go of him is the most Jets thing they could have done. So
Oh,
True.
come on. They can out-Jets the Jets.
That's bad. We can no longer include
And this
them.
therapy session will continue.
Yeah, for decades, probably.
Can I just say, hail to the victors valiant.
Go Blue.
Hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail, Michigan, the leaders and best. Did you want more?
Not if we could help it.
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, man.
It's
I
a
know
tough
I'm
crowd.
getting more regardless, dear.
What's
Tough
that?
crowd.
I said I know I'm getting more regardless, dear.
Exactly, right?
Gary, that's the email that we have. Is that the correct email?
gcgrow@aol.com.
Yep. Did you just get the one that I sent?
I'm afraid to switch out of this to find out.
Okay. Just let me know. I sent one about 5 minutes ago.
What's your email? After we're done with all this, I'll tell you what I've got. Michael.
It will come from Eventbrite. It should say today's event link. It'll say Community Cup Classic Foundation.
Oh, okay.
but it could go to spam because it doesn't come directly from my email. It has a no reply at campaign.eventbrite.com.
Oh, okay. I'll look for it and I'll let somebody know.
Okay.
Adeline's having a CT scan today, and she's excited because she really enjoyed it last time. She thought it was fun.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good approach.
Yeah. Oh,
And
she's
then-
really something.
All the folks at the Farrell Foundation are rooting for her.
Oh, that's excellent. Everybody is helping. She's just amazing. For considering what she's got going on, she has bacterial meningitis and a virus of some sort. She's had to have 2 spinal taps,
Oh, wow.
and she only cried a little. She said,
During the second, she didn't cry at all during the first.
Whoa.
She's a warrior. She's the sort of, I've been telling people, she's the sort, if you taught her how to do it, she'd be putting in her own IV.
right. She pulls out her own teeth when they're loose. She just
Oh,
gets tired of waiting for them to fall out and just pulls them out.
Get that good fairy there sooner rather than later.
I think she's really enjoying seeing all the different things, like the different pieces of equipment and the procedures they do. The doctor asked her if she thought she would want to be a doctor when she grows up, and she said, no, I want to be a teacher. And he said, well, that's what I went to school for, but then I switched to being a doctor, so you never know. So,
Now, Adeline is their granddaughters. Those of
I'm
you who
sorry.
are looking with that quizzical gaze.
Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The one were they at the library?
Yeah, you met her. You met her. She's one of the twins.
Okay.
The twin. And
She's
poor
been in the
Abigail is
hospital all
so.
week.
What's that?
I was just saying she's been in the hospital all week.
Uh-huh.
Filling in backstory.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I hope she gets better.
she will be. She is getting
She's
better.
improving. She's so much better right now than she was earlier in the week.
The
Night and
first
day.
the first spinal tap they weren't able to get anything out of. So they did this second one a few days ago, and they did confirm it was bacterial meningitis and also a virus, because they were trying to see, is it meningitis or a virus? And they found out it was both. So but before they knew for sure, they just were pumping her with antibiotics, and that was taking it out. And they thought that because they had been doing that, they wouldn't see the meningitis anymore because the biotics had wiped them out, but there was still a lot there. So they were kind of shocked. She was close to dying when they brought her into the ER.
Really?
RJ waited 8 hours at the ER.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, but
I'm sorry.
It's
Prayers
been a
that
week
she
for
gets.
us
I'm glad
grandparents.
that you saying she is getting better. But yeah,
yeah, she is.
Much.
Just say good thoughts and prayers. She's
absolutely.
fabulous little kid. She's
And I
better.
might
She's
add to this conversation that while Adeline is getting better, her grandparents are getting much better too.
right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But the
And-
next step is for her twin sister to get better.
Oh, Abby.
Abigail refuses to go into their bedroom because when she tries to, she just starts crying.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a definite connection.
Yeah, I can't imagine between twins what it's like to be apart
Yeah.
like this.
Agreed.
Especially for Abigail. She's such a little love muffin. She told us she was gonna attack Adeline with love when she comes home.
That is
Gonna
awesome.
attack her with love.
One of Abigail's friends had a zombie dream, and Abigail was a love zombie.
Okay.
She's very proud of that. Told me that a few times. But I also want to let you know that despite my name showing up as Juan, I'm really Gretchen, and Adeline's name is Adeline Gretchen.
But we're changing that to Adeline Juan Goodwin. So
Even though you're a
Okay.
Michigan fan, you can rename yourself. today.
Baltimore,
Hello.
how are you?
All right. How are you?
Good.
Hmm.
How's the birthday part of your household?
She's doing good. I'm watching some obscene thing that's happening on Zoom right now. Uh,
This?
yeah, there it is.
Well, you got two Zooms going on? What's happening here? Oh, by the
Gretchen,
way, Dave is taking his wife out to dinner today at Arthur Treacher's.
Well, I would love that.
Yeah, with the look you just had on your face, I'm sure.
But because I'm surprised. I don't know that there are Arthur Treaches.
Yeah,
Where are you,
yeah.
Dave? Maryland?
yeah, Alabama.
Alabama. Ah.
There are no Arthur Treachers in Alabama, or there's only, I think, one left in Ohio, maybe two. But we have to, I mean, we will go out to dinner tonight, but we got to make sure the place is open. I mean, we've just been under a sheet of ice since last week.
Mm.
And there's a outdoor mall place that, there's a steakhouse we want to get to, and they very well may be open, but they sure the heck probably haven't salted the walkway to get up there. So I don't know.
Well, I hope you manage it.
We'll do something, maybe not our first choice, but we'll and it's 10 degrees outside right now, so
Oh, it's warmer here.
well, yeah.
I read somewhere that you really have to spoil women whose birthdays are in January.
Oh,
Oh, is that the rule? Would you
yeah.
happen to know?
Wink,
Would you
wink,
happen to
nod,
know
nod.
such a woman, dear?
I'm sorry? Oh, I got the present I wanted, though.
Dominic, do you have any insight into this phenomena?
About spoiling women whose birthdays in January?
Yeah.
From my experience, you can't possibly do it enough.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
I could agree with that probably.
Right.
Yeah, you'd better if Barbara's in earshot.
You're right about those January birthdays.
Oh, yeah?
Lena's was just here, so yep.
All right. What day?
8th.
Hey, I was going to guess that because that is the day Michigan won the national championship.
Ooh, everything goes
All right,
through
let's get
this
her out of
road,
here.
huh?
Mike, that's the third strike, all right? That is the third strike.
Can you
Hey, Bill, you better
her?
hurry up and join in on this.
I'm sorry, Lily talked about it. I had to.
Can we mute her?
All right. You know what? I'm gonna give it to y'all. Cheaters win. They say cheaters never
Oh
win,
my
but
God.
this year cheaters won.
I know.
cheaters-
Remember when Ohio State cheated and they would win?
How because they took some jury or something?
That doesn't count, I'm sure, right?
When does the
Right,
baseball
right.
start?
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, is what I heard.
Hello, Hagens.
Hello there.
Hi.
You want to join in on this Michigan conversation?
And Ohio State.
Seems active enough as it is.
I'm getting
Do-do-do-do-do.
bad things said about my Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, here comes another Juan Goodwin.
Will the real Juan Goodwin please stand up?
Where's another Juan Goodman? I don't. I'll be happy to stand. But I'm not the real Juan Goodman. So anyway.
Well, this is a mystery Juan Goodwin down there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. No video, no audio. We'll never know the real Juan Goodwin.
Let's bet it's Fran.
Well,
I'm
we know
betting it's
the
Fran.
real
I'm
Juan
hoping it's
Goodwin
Fran.
isn't a Michigan fan. We know that.
Well, that's not everybody can root for the best.
And not everybody can get accepted at Ohio State, so that's why they make
Michigan's rate of acceptance is lower than Ohio State. So
Nobody wants to go to the state of Michigan. I drove through there one day,
I love it. I've been to Ann Arbor a few times and I love it.
I
It
will
just
say
speaks
this.
to me.
I'm a Detroit Lions fan this weekend just because of
Oh,
the story. Yeah.
really? See, I'm rooting for the Bills. The Bills are my.
Okay. Yeah.
But we don't need to worry about that until the Super Bowl. So.
Whoa.
I mean, rooting for Bills Lions.
Does everybody have their cup of coffee up?
Mine's purple.
Oh,
I couldn't
Is
use
that
any
what-
of my purple stuff until the game was over.
I think mine says
Okay.
Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. I think we should just make you the
I
focal
can
point.
understand that you can't read it though.
Boy, we're hot today.
I am a good trash talker.
That is can't read, can't write, Kent State, not Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, I rep Kent State too.
They getting all your money these next 3 years, huh, Mike?
Absolutely.
All right. You want to get started now? Because I'm
I
tired of hearing
think
Michigan
this will
talk,
really
man.
degrade.
You know? So
Juan,
happily
watch out
just
for
let everybody
identity
hang out
theft.
with you. What'd you say, Mike?
Oh no, I said thumbs up. Yeah.
I said, Juan, watch out for identity theft.
Yeah, there are a bunch of you running around now.
I'll send y'all the mortgage statement this month there. Y'all want to take care of that?
Afraid you
Don't
may
get
lose
quiet
your
now.
house.
I see a foreclosure in your future.
All right. So good morning. Hope everybody is staying warm. So this week, this month to kick off the Negro League conversations, we thought we'll do something a little different to kind of give an overview of the year. But instead of just sitting here and we do like we usually do, earlier this week, Mr. Dominic De Niro and Mr. Ike Brooks, they were so kind to lend their time to us and allow us to pick their brain about why they do it. But it was really important to have, I'll say, like a 3-generational conversation. So would you say, Lily, those guys were much older than you, right? And then there's me, who's Lily's dad, who enjoys having talks with Dominic and Ike. And then Lily's the 9-year-old. So in order for things like this to become sustaining, we figure like we need to have more intergenerational conversations. So Ike and Dominic were guests on Lily's radio show. So that conversation will air right after this at 11 o'clock. But I thought it would be important to kind of bring that conversation, and we'll show some of the clips of what we was talking about. But before we do that, you can see how the generations are. Lily's on TikTok while we're about to get ready to do. No, don't put it out now. Don't put it out now. So that's important. It's like, how do we capture the young kids? Because they're connected to their devices all the time. So Lily, like on a high level, what was it like talking to Ike and Dominic, Mr. Dominic? Like, what did you get from them?
A lot of important information about baseball. So
Baseball. What else did they talk about?
they talked about female players and also about like the Black history and all that.
Yeah, so we have a clip that I wanted to show y'all instead of just being talking heads.
Yeah.
So the first one that I wanted to share, it was about the impact that Negro Leagues had on the culture. So we'll play that, and then I would like to have a quick Q&A about it.
To be here.
So let's get started. My first question is, what was the impact of Negro Leagues baseball on American culture?
Well, Dominic, I'll start that and you can chime in.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. I like to think of, well, number one, baseball is America, and it really defined America, especially in the early 1900s
You see the screen, Juan.
to almost today. And it's kind of interesting. All of us are currently celebrating football, but at one point, baseball was the most popular sport in this country. The only thing that competed with it was boxing. But Negro League baseball,
Hold on. You couldn't see my screen? You couldn't see the video?
No, we couldn't see the video. We saw the screen, but we didn't see the video. We heard the audio, but we couldn't see the video.
Okay, 1 second.
we've invented radio.
I'm sorry. Is that?
I'm proud of you, Ike.
Gotta have some value added. Hello, Meredith.
Hi there.
Oh, hi.
How's everybody?
Good.
Good.
You?
Oh, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
There we go. Yeah, now we can see it.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So let's get started. My first question is, what was the impact of Negro Leagues baseball on American culture?
Well, Dominic, I'll start that and you can chime in.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. I like to think of, well, number one, baseball is America, and it really defined America, especially in the early 1900s to almost today. And it's kind of interesting. All of us are currently celebrating football, but at one point, baseball was the most popular sport in this country. The only thing that competed with it was boxing. But Negro League baseball, you can look at in three ways, I think. At its core, it's sport. It was an opportunity for skilled athletes to showcase their skills. In fact, a number of tactics that are used in Major League Baseball today came from Negro League Baseball. The offensive strategy to advance runners, steal bases, bunt and run, hit and run, all came from Negro League Baseball. It was also a form of entertainment. At the time, people were working, and this was an opportunity for them to spend their time and their money and to see an outstanding product on the field. On a third level, Negro League Baseball was an industry. By some accounts, it was the third largest Black business in this country in the late 30s and 40s. The industry itself was around baseball stadiums, coaches, players, owners, but it also spun off other businesses, printers, cleaners, those things that help support hotels, restaurants. This created in the Black community a full industry structure.
I would like to have opening dialogue to everybody on the floor. I have a question for all of you guys. How do you think Negro Leagues had an impact on American culture?
This does require an audio response.
Oh. Yeah, or we just start calling on people. Yeah. We're trying to school the youngsters. So I guess talking over the generations, you always hear about Jackie Robinson and all that stuff. But as you were talking to him, Lily, what did you hear? Like Jackie Robinson wasn't the only person, right?
Yeah. So what I heard, Jackie Robinson, what you said, but the second African American baseball player did become one of the first African American managers. So Basically, we just hear about Jackie Robinson and what he did, but they don't give credit to anybody else. And yeah.
Like the second child. So, like, but back to the audience, like, we're here every Saturday. Like, what would be some of the impacts that we'll say that it had on the culture?
Well, I'm going to say that I think it must have led to something that then became the Civil Rights Act. I mean, just at the time when Blacks had their own baseball, and then like all the businesses started from what Ike said, I think that white people who are afraid of Black people succeeding probably started coming down harder on them. And that's when Black people started fighting even more. And we got into then the civil rights era right after, Jackie started. And so my guess is that it had some impact on that, the whole idea that, hey, we can do these things on our own, leave us alone. And taking that even further into the Black people's rights. And
so Lily, I'm hearing like Black baseball became like a self-sufficient enterprise. You know what that means?
No, I don't know what enterprise means.
Well,
I know-
self-sufficient.
Yeah, I know what self-sufficient means.
So like an enterprise is like a business or establishment. Like we don't need to go anywhere.
Oh, it's like Enterprise, the car company.
Well, enterprise named themselves like, oh, we're a business. But like just think that you got a baseball league, you got your own entertainers, you got your own hotels, you got your own buses. So you don't have to go outside your community for anything. So like economics, you know what that word means? Like economics, my bad. May not come out. Yeah. So like you create a whole sustaining enterprise, and then other folks around the country was like, yo, if they can do it, we can do it. When you hear the civil rights, you always think of Dr. King and all that. But there was so many other players. And Mr. Ike and Mr. Dominic were saying baseball was kind of at the forefront of that. So you get that? Would that be fair? I'm not a historian. I just want to make sure we're schooling the youngster right. Would that be
Right.
fair to say?
I think so.
It definitely seems that way to me. Like if you look at the timing of it, because all of a sudden, Black people weren't supporting white businesses because they had their own businesses, and white people, the only thing they care about is money. So I shouldn't talk about white people like that.
Yeah, it's not like a black or white thing. It's more like history. Because Lily, I remember during the interview, and we'll play that clip, and you tell me, you said something like you're not even allowed to have some of these conversations in school.
Oh yeah, where no, well not our school, but you were telling me about how some schools were allowed to have conversation about Black history.
Yeah, so it leads me to the clip that you guys did. How you say Jackie Robinson?
Yep.
The first, but then
they forget about the second,
second child, right?
The second child, like the second.
Do you forget about your sister? She's a second child.
How?
So
we don't have another child.
All right, so let's play the video that they were telling her about what it's like being the second child.
I'm the seventh, so I'm way forgotten.
Guy named Monty Irvin goes to the New York Giants, and Luke Easter comes to Cleveland. So 10 Blacks joined Major League Baseball in that 2-year period. Of those 10, 7 are enshrined in the Hall of Fame.
But why don't we hear about those other stories besides Jackie Robinson?
Because being a second child is not a good thing to be.
And you asked us earlier, Lily, why do we do these presentations on Saturdays? It's so that people hear about these other folks. If I could go back,
Makes
on
sense now.
you asked about barrier breakers, and Ike's been identifying people who broke the playing barrier. But if I could offer up two others, Buck O'Neill was the first black man to be a coach on a Major League Baseball team. And Frank Robinson, right here in Cleveland, became the first black to manage a Major League Baseball.
All right. So before we move on, I heard that Miss Meredith had a comment for me, or just like a question. What were you trying to say?
What is Lily calling? Lily, I wanted to say something relative to when I appreciate that you have this interest in expressing it so well. When you asked about the impact on the Black community, I think that everything that everyone has said is true, and I'm not a baseball historian like many of the people on here, but I think that one of the impacts that I see is that I was going to say galvanized, but that's not maybe a word you're familiar with, but it brought together Black people to have national heroes because many of the players played very locally. So people, if they were in Kansas City or in Cleveland or some of these cities, they knew some of the players, and so they had their hometown heroes, and those were the folks that packed those stadiums every time the folks played. But when you start to have national heroes like Jackie Robinson, I think the other thing that you got to recognize about Jackie Robinson and a lot of people that followed him, they understood that they represented Black people in a larger way. And so Jackie Robinson not only became just a baseball player, he became a symbol of something, a symbol of how you could break through these barriers. He also became very political and started having political views. Not, I won't say he started being political, so I think he was always political, but he started realizing that he had a responsibility to speak up about the injustices that he saw because he's had a platform. So I think you see that still in a lot of the players today, be they in baseball or football or wherever. I think people had started having a sense that they had a responsibility to a community. And I think those are the things that have stood out in communities and why sometimes we have unrealistic expectations about athletes and what we expect them to do, because we expect them to be that representative for people of color and for Black people in particular.
I
That
remember
kind of
Charles
reminds me of
Barkley.
Dr. King.
Yeah, being the first, putting yourself out there. I remember Charles Barkley said, "I'm not a role model," and I was like, everybody kind of watch you.
Yeah.
So, Lily, we spent the first 20 minutes talking about men in the movement. Did you guys talk about women at all?
Yes, we did.
What did you learn about the women of the Negro Leagues movement?
So I learned about the first woman to be put in the Baseball Hall of Fame because she did almost everything, because her husband was a manager of a team and she took over and she did almost everything. And then we talked about some female players too, which was amazing.
Girl bosses, huh? Do you remember her name? Pop quiz.
Um,
Don't worry about it. We're about to tell her. So let's talk about the Sheeta lady that
I know.
Mamie Johnson, right?
Johnson.
And then it was Effa Manley. Remember those?
At least I was close.
Hey, you got
close.
yeah.
I was close.
So let's bring up the clip talking about the girl bosses of the moment, because Lily loved girl bosses, right?
I'm a girl boss. Money, crib, car. We ain't got time for
all right, let's see what they talked about the women of the Negro Leagues movement.
But now, let's shift our focus to the incredible woman who played in the Negro Leagues. Can you give us some highlights of women like Mamie Johnson?
Okay. That's an easy one. There are three women. In fact, 1954, there were three women playing Negro League baseball. This year, we'll recognize the 70th anniversary of that event. Toni Stone was the very first. She joined a team called the Indianapolis Clowns in 1953. She was a second baseman. I'll give you some trivia. So the next time you hear this on Jeopardy, it's almost as who replaced Hank Aaron with the Indianapolis Clowns? And some would say that it was Toni Stone. Now, that's not entirely accurate. She just happened to show up as Hank Aaron was preparing to go to Major League Baseball. But she was the very first woman who played Negro League Baseball.
Unknown caller.
Some may ask, well, wasn't there a league for women? And we've all seen the Tom Hanks movie. It said you don't cry in baseball, and women had their own league, a league of their own. But like the rest of America, that league of their own was segregated, and Black women were not allowed to play. In fact, the woman that you mentioned, Mamie Johnson, attempted to join that league, and she was turned down. I had the opportunity to speak with her, and she told me about the tryout, and they ignored her and did not want her to play on that team. But she was a pitcher also for the Indianapolis Clowns. And over her 3-year stint in playing against men, she had a record of 33 wins and 8 losses as a pitcher. And the third woman, who was probably the most talented and most athletic of the three, Connie Morgan, also played for the Indianapolis Clowns. And she was a very good second baseman for them. But they were not allowed to play on the All-American Girls Baseball League because of the segregated conditions in this country.
Man, that was crazy. But I'm all about the girl bosses. But
Okay. I'm all about the women. So this one's for y'all. This is an important question. Do you think that it was not fair for the Black women to not play in a baseball league if they really wanted to?
Very much so. Especially because those leagues came about because the men were all off at war. And Black men were at war just like white men, and their wives needed to have an expression to put themselves out there, and to not let them do that is, it's just like all the other stuff. It's just, I'm sorry, Lily, it's bullshit.
Yeah, if I could,
Truer words have never been spoken.
if I could just an example of how ingrained the segregation was. Gretchen mentioned the manpower shortages during the war, and during World War II, lots and lots of Major League Baseball players were off fighting the war, and they were scraping for players, scraping so badly that a guy named Pete Gray played Major League Baseball. He was born with only one arm, and he played Major League Baseball with only one arm. They would give him an opportunity, but they wouldn't give able-bodied Black men an opportunity.
Only in America. That's
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
We're
Don't
so
do that. Don't
proud.
do that.
Don King.
Don't do that, Daddy. Don't do that.
But no, Lily, this is not like a woe is me conversation. It's more so like, look what the opportunities you have with, people like this that want to continue to pour these stories into you, and like just go and do things at a higher level. But since women were so marginalized during that time, you had 2 segments about the women on here. The Effa Manley part. Let's play that clip, and because the guys get all the credit. Let's hear more about the women
Go
of the Negro
girls.
Leagues. Yeah.
let me jump in. I heard you say you're into the girl bosses. Did you say that earlier? Okay. Well, Negro League Baseball had some girl bosses.
You were talking about that.
There were women who owned teams.
Wow, own teams.
Yeah, they owned teams. A woman named Effa Manley. Effa Manley and her husband.
Wait, tell me about her real quick. Tell me about her.
Okay, Effa Manley, 1935 to 1946, she and her husband owned a team called the Newark Eagles. Clevelanders should know about the Newark Eagles because Larry Doby played on that team before joining the Cleveland Indian franchise. But Effa Manley was the owner of that team, and in 47 and 48, she exclusively owned it. Her husband gave up the team, and she was the sole owner. She was a great woman in that regard because she managed everything about the team and also took the time to focus on social justice at the time.
Superwoman.
She was
Absolutely.
and she is in the National Baseball Hall of Fame today.
The only
Has to
woman,
be there.
the only woman in the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Effa Manley.
Oh,
If I
she
could tack
had
on
to
a
be there. for us to
Absolutely. If I could tack on a little bit more about her, Ike alluded to the social justice themes and such, and she was a real to get a sense of the Negro League teams as a part of the community. She was very involved in organizing events at the ballpark to take place before the games. For NAACP Defense Fund, for anti-lynching campaigns, for milk drives, to get milk to poor people who couldn't afford it. She was socially active and used her position as the owner of a baseball team to influence the community in that direction.
And kids got in free to all the balls.
All right. So I really want to expand more on this because really, she really was a superwoman that she handled the team by herself. And she did like all these milk drives for people. So yeah, she really was a superwoman and she deserved to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I think too, you had brought up something like she didn't get in the Hall of correct me, Ike or Dominic. She didn't get in the Hall of Fame until when? 2018 or 2000?
Yeah, like not too long ago.
2006.
2006.
Yeah, so that was about.
And then, so when you had said something during that interview that
60 years.
when we get our first black president to win
2000.
2008, and something stuck out about the interview. You had said something like, in 2024, why are we still having conversations about
just one person, not just another person.
Or the first black to do this, the first
black to do this, and not about. But wait, not just this person. This person did a successful thing after him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So here, if we can, you had brought the first clip, and you don't know why we still talk in 2024 about the first black person to get this, the first black person to get that.
The first black person to do this, the first black person to do that. But it's messed up how, again, they don't care about the second child.
Whatever. Let's see that when you ask Mr. Ike, Mr. Dominic about the first.
All right.
Turning 10. She's going.
Is this a clip or is this us real?
It's a clip.
Oh, okay.
Not sure who's supposed to be.
Is that?
Yeah, and like, why are we still hearing about the first black coach in 2020?
Because there are still people who need to hear it. because the work isn't over.
Yeah.
Because we have to acknowledge those who took the big steps before us while we continue to take big steps. It's all part of a continuing story and a continuing legacy.
But like, my question is, it's 2024. We're talking about the 1900s. I know I already said that. Why are we still talking about somebody being first if that was like a couple of years ago?
That's a very good question.
Hmm.
And that is the reason we need progress to continue to be made. Think of it. Dominic and I are old enough that we've seen these things happen, and we'd love that that's not the first story that comes out. You tire of hearing, oh, he's the first. We should have many, many, many more.
So the first, Ike, why are we still having the first such and such in 2024? Ike,
And not-
help me out.
And not like, okay, the first person was Jackie Robinson, but then this person right after him did the same thing, and so a lot of people just followed after him.
Well, no, or like,
It's just
how
like,
are we
wait a
still
minute.
getting the first executive at such and such in 2024? That's what I was saying. Like, why do we still have those conversations? Like,
Yeah.
I think we're still having them because it's not a commonplace event for everyone to be accepted in the country that prides itself on being free, open, and available to all. After the original sin, this country, in my opinion, has difficulty accepting everyone on equal terms, if what I'm saying is making any sense to anyone.
It's making sense.
I also think it's good to know the first, the people who were the first to do things, so that you yourself can decide, I want to be the first this, because you know now, if you're the first great radio interviewer who happens to be a young Black girl, that you'll get talked about more than the other people. We'll all be saying Lily Jade this and Lily Jade that.
I have a quick story about. Remember, Daddy, when you told me about the teacher who put me in a room for a Black History?
no, I don't. What are you talking
You
about?
don't remember about that when you told me?
Refresh my memory now.
Okay, so one day we were just sitting around, and it was last year. It was last year in February, and so you're like, Lily, it was like one of the teachers that I met at a school, and they're like, they put you in their room for Black History.
You put me in the room?
Me.
Oh,
Me.
I don't remember, but I'm sure it was important. No,
You know,
no.
me.
So, like, for example, a few months ago, Forbes 30 under 30 was here, right?
Yeah,
Who's the
I was.
youngest Black kid on there?
I was. I already
So
know
you
the
see why
answer
it's
to that.
important to be the first? So
Yes.
then there's a little girl after you know, like, well, I can be the second, third, and fourth. Imagine if we never tell the story of the first. You think it's impossible because it's never been done. But if you see something that's good, you're like, oh, I want to be like that person. I want to be better than that person. So that's why I feel like we continue to tell these stories and get you up on a Saturday morning and turn TikTok off and sit with all the old people like you call Mr. Ike and Mr. Dolly.
Call them old.
She
I was
did.
just saying,
We got it on tape.
all I said, they were just a
She
bit
did.
older than me.
No, you said you guys are much older
Much,
than me. No
much.
disrespect.
Much older.
We will roll the tape back.
But it's true, though. I mean, it's
Yep.
true.
But selfishly, I feel like the stories and the history that generations used to pass down, that doesn't happen anymore. So this is a way we can almost recreate sitting in the backyard telling stories. Because usually your uncles come over and tell you how they were the greatest basketball player ever. and
Um,
they're not really telling the truth. Like these things are documented, like with history and stuff like
I
that.
think
So
you're talking about yourself. You ain't gonna talk about the time you got injured.
no, so you have any like final questions to all the folks in those boxes? Like, would there be anything you ask for them to help you and your generation moving forward?
I would probably have to think about that.
No, you ain't getting off the
But-
hook. You got them right here. Look in that camera and say something.
Dang, you got me.
No, you put people on the hot seat all the time. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? So
Well, let me try this. And Lily,
Okay.
you think of it, but wouldn't it be good if we weren't describing people based on skin color?
Definitely.
And it was just
Definitely.
wouldn't it be great to see another disc jockey,
Yeah.
right? For example, and I'll take it to America's passion now, football. Doug Williams, I think, said it best. When they were
Going to
calling him
Disneyland.
the first black quarterback. Wouldn't it be nice that as quarterbacks come up, it's just another quarterback who just happens to be great?
or you cute for a dark skinned girl, or something like
Yeah.
things like that. Like you just, this is a cute person. This is a good DJ.
Okay.
This is
I
a
think
good.
I have a question.
All right, you gotta look.
I think I have a question ready.
All right.
My question is, so first of all, you guys, well, I'm gonna see if I can word it right.
Just say it. Just
Okay,
say it. We'll
okay.
put it together.
Okay, so my question is, do you guys really think that it was important for people not to discriminate between skin colors back then?
Oh, yeah. It would have led to a whole different country if it hadn't been divided like that. We would be a much stronger country today, I feel. Wouldn't always be fighting about like polar opposites. And the idea that white people are polar opposites of black people is ridiculous.
Okay, so
But
my
I also
question.
I just wanted to say, Lily, that I went to that thing at the library where you were, and I brought my granddaughters because I want my granddaughters to see young girls doing things, not to see young black girls or young white girls. I want them to see young girls doing things to, to keep their interests going. And they enjoyed it. They really had a great time at that thing.
I'm glad that your granddaughters had a good time.
Thanks.
Because I'm big in the girl boss industry. You could be like, oh, hey, I just do this. I'm like, you're a girl boss. Like, if you're just trying to do something small and you tell me, I'm going to just say, you're a girl boss. I don't care what you're doing. You could be just being like a small business or in like a big industry. I don't care. You're a girl boss. That's all I have to say because I am big in the girl boss industry.
Whatever. I'm a hater.
I also just subscribed to your YouTube channel. So while we were talking,
No, I thought this was fun. Did you have fun?
I had fun. I had fun because I did say that I was going to be here. So I had to keep my promise.
So you're a woman of your word.
I'm a woman of my word.
You told me you told me he's gonna clean your room.
No,
too.
I didn't. I told you I was going to clean the basement, and I did that. And that's
All right, never mind. So, Mike, Ike, Dominic, I'll throw it back to y'all because that's all the questions that we had, and the full interview will air in about 20 minutes.
thanks, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
Of course.
Thank you.
I have fun.
Thank you, Lily.
This was great.
And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. This is a little different than our normal programming, but as Juan pointed out, we have the usual suspects once a month, and here's an attempt to broaden that reach and try to bring in others that may benefit from these kinds of conversations. And I fully realize that these aren't the easiest conversations to have. As we look around at what's happening in this country today, we may be repeating some of what we think are the mistakes of the past. Perhaps talking about them in an open forum may avoid that repetition. And I think this year is a pretty pivotal year. Bless you. For example, a part of our agenda talks about what may be the greatest year in Black baseball. And Dominic is going to lead us in 5 discussions of just how terrific 1934 was as it relates to baseball and progress in this country. Then when we get up to 1954, there's a whole host of stuff that's going to pop up. We talked about it some, about the women who were playing the game and trying to keep the Negro Leagues afloat. But in Cleveland, for example, had the very best regular season record ever. Had a World Series that featured the first time that Blacks were playing for both teams.
Wow.
Right? It was sandwiched around one of the pivotal events that occurred in a Supreme Court ruling, Brown versus the Board of Education, and how baseball was rectifying some of the sins of 78 years of injustice, where you had obviously Willie Mays in the National League, Larry Doby in the American League, but the emergence of names like Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, Roberto Clemente coming a year later. But those kinds of events we're going to discuss and their impact on America. Dominic, don't know if you want to chime in or talk about, you're going to be doing this, and we will also have another presenter in Ted Noor, who's going to talk about a ball player that no one has heard of, but when ball players themselves described him, he was one of the greatest. His name is Herbert Dixon, nickname Rap.
Yeah, if I could say a few words about 1934 and why I'm focusing on that. This is a project that I've been carrying around for over 30 years. I had the idea back in the late 80s that I wanted to look at a Negro League season in depth and get a sense. I think what started it was looking in the newspapers and being surprised to find Negro League teams in spring training. You hear about the Negro Leagues, you hear about them getting on buses, traveling from town to town. You never hear about spring training. And the whole idea that there was a regular baseball calendar to the Negro League season and seeing that revealed was something that really interested me. So this was, like I said, this is back in the late 1980s. I spent hours at the Boston Public Library microfilm room microfilming every article about baseball in the Cleveland, Chicago Defender and Pittsburgh Courier in the year 1934. And over the next several years, I put together scrapbooks. I don't know if you can see that. I disappear
Yeah.
completely.
Oh,
But
wow.
just right. Of all the articles from that season, I've got one book for the Defender and one book for the Courier. And I've been carrying these around, like I say, for decades, waiting for life to present me the opportunity to do something with the material. And thanks to these presentations we've been doing, I now have that opportunity. And thanks to just a clarity in my life that was never there before, I have that opportunity. So I'm going to be looking real closely at the players and the teams, but also the things outside of the leagues, the the barnstorming teams. There are teams that are just horrible racist caricatures. The Zulu Cannibal Giants, which would play baseball games in grass skirts. And there was on the flip side, 1934, the Denver Post ran an annual semi-pro tournament, which was the largest semi-pro tournament in the country. And that had been going on for about 20 years. And finally in 34, they integrated the tournament. And there were black teams and black players. And there's fascinating stories I'll be getting into around that post tournament. And you had throughout the season duels between two of the greatest pitchers ever, Satchel Paige and a one-year phenom named Slim Jones, that you're going to be tired of hearing of by the time I'm done with 1934.
I think for us, when we started the Cup, we had this idea of creating a bridge between adults and youth. Our work has always been about kind of filling gaps and getting more adults involved in youth lives, both from my experience working with youth development and even my upbringing personally. It was, as many know, it was just me and my mom. But I've always said I've got between 60 to 80 brothers and sisters that my kids still literally call uncles and aunts. But it was the engagement with the adults and community that helped me navigate and kind of get through where you needed to do. So that way I'm not a knucklehead and kind of do those things. It was always somebody who say, I'm gonna tell your mom, or I'm gonna do it and tell you no, and then I tell your mama that I did tell you. So that type of engagement, those are the things that are missing. And when we established the Cup, we created it to where we were going to create these different events and bringing individuals out. We were going to connect them to different things. As it started, we met Ike, we met Dominic. We've continued to grow with you all through these presentations. And I think what Juan and I have started to realize is that there's so much information that can connect people to kind of understand not only who you are, who we were, and the things that we're capable of. We are doing our best to not only streamline this process, but to get this information out to more people. So that way, kind of this understanding can continue. Lily grasp it as much as you don't see my three around here. Michael is 100%. He's looking at Bob Gibson when he's trying to figure out his number. His mindset of thinking about what number I want to have is not is he's thinking about the Negro League players. So do I want to wear Josh Gibson's number? Do I want to wear Satchel Paige's number? Do I want to wear Bob Gibson's number? He's looking at them and their pitching stats to say, these are the stats that I want to replicate, because he hears it. He's been hearing it for the last 3 years. They've all been hearing it. And they continue to tell their friends about these are things that daddy's doing, even to say this would be cool to have the team listen to at Coppin State. So the more that we figure out ways to do these different type of events on Saturdays, we're looking to start to try and really broadcast this to a greater audience because of what we've learned from this group. And you all have helped educate us just on things. I got history major, so I understand the history part in terms of dates, but the connection and the way that you make these things truly come to life has been awesome for us to continue to support, to continue to provide a platform, to continue to figure out how to do it more effectively and more efficiently. And we're really going to strive this year to make sure that we get in front of a whole lot more people to sustain it for as long as we can and as long as you're willing. So I'm thankful for these times on Saturday. They're absolutely awesome. And thankful for you all as well.
And go Ohio State. That's how we'll end it.
Hail to the victors valiant.
We've come full circus.
Full circus, you're right.
French Canadian
Questions,
woman.
comments, and of course, angry outbursts.
The Michigan was the angry outburst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And I thought of something thanks to Lily. I thought of a trivia question, and we can end on this. Remember doing that? It popped out of that.
Can I get
Hold on, Meredith
1947.
has something to say before your trivia.
Can I get a logistic before
Meredith
you do
speak.
trivia?
Hold
Okay,
on,
do the
Miss
logistics.
Meredith has something to say before your trivia question.
Okay, so I want to do we'll do a quick logistics. What we have worked on is that there is no longer going to be anything that you'll have to do from Eventbrite in order to get to any of these presentations.
Hell.
Yay. We did that today just to make sure that the core group was able to get back into the room. However, through the website, when you go to negroleaguesoul.com, there is a register here button. Once you click on that button, that's going to be the same for every Zoom link that we'll have. They're all going to be the same. You'll be able to go to the website, you'll register, and you'll consistently just get those emails to be able to register. If you cannot find the link at all on any Saturday, you'll be able to go to the website and just click on it, and it will bring you directly into the room. So you won't have to worry about tickets coming or anything. We are completely separated from Eventbrite going forward for all of the processes.
You have season tickets.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
User friendly.
Did Ms. Meredith have something to say? I want to make sure we got her in. I know she had her hand up.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say back to Lily, because I think the question she asked around this whole idea of community is a good one, and impact. And as Dominic was talking, it may, I'm not, I'm very limited in my baseball knowledge. I always acquiesce to my friend and to my husband on this, but I hope Lily gets that there's a very strong need, which I get from her, to understand her history and the history that we have, because those documents that Dominic just talked about, most people are oblivious to it. And so here's then what assumptions people start to make: that there was never any spring training, that there was never any business associated with Negro baseball, and that people just kind of showed up and played some ball. And that there was not all of this industry that went on behind the scenes that propelled and sustained these folks to go out and do what they're doing. And so if we're short-sighted and we only look at one aspect of the players, then we're missing all the other things. Like you were talking about, these communities that showed up to support all these players. And those are the stories, Lily, that people then could pass on to each other about what they saw and what they witnessed, and why we could even give testimony to it today because of those stories. And that oral history for many folks that are African American is just, so much a part of who we are. And I had talked about that before when, I was like, oh yeah, I know him. I know him because, I heard about him at my kitchen table. So those things stick with us. And so I hope, because it sounds like your dad's doing a great job with you around that. So continue to be that boss girl.
Thank you.
And become that boss woman. And and remember to tell these stories, because you've got an opportunity to get poured into. And there's folks
Is that
pouring
the
into
second?
you. Even if
Yeah,
you
there's
are
a second child just
child.
came into the picture.
Yeah, the
This
second
the second
child.
child
This
that
the-
no one talks about. Here's
This
the
is the January birthday that we were talking about.
And watch out, because see, she'll be on your heels to be the boss girl too.
She's the Serena in the household, right?
Oh yeah, let's hope.
Yeah.
She's adorable. It was just her birthday? Is that what you were saying, Lily?
Yeah, this is the little one who just had a birthday.
Happy January birthday, girl.
Happy belated birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
My confession also is, Dominic, was kind of going to be hit and miss about this going forward, but you piqued my interest now.
Okay.
Excellent.
Very nice. Very good.
All right. Now, the trivia.
yeah.
We alluded to it. 1947, 5 acknowledged Black players joined Major League Baseball. 1948, 2 more arrived. 1949, another 4 arrived. And in 1950, 1 arrived.
That
Okay, so
total.
that
Hold on.
totals 12.
I went
That's
to public
12
school,
altogether.
so.
7 of them are in the Hall of Fame. Who are they?
He told you this the other day too. Remember he
Monty
said-
Irvin.
Ding, that's one.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
That's good. Good.
Satchel Paige.
Larry Doby? No?
Yeah, like
All right, you're going good.
Louis Mays.
Nope, he
Nope,
didn't join.
1951.
He was 1951, so he doesn't count in this equation.
Roy Campanella.
Very good.
Don Newsom.
Say again.
Don Newsom, or we see you.
How many we at so far? We got
Well,
5.
Newcomb
belongs in the Hall of Fame, Meredith. but
Newcomb
he's
is not there
for
yet.
some reason.
Yeah, for some reason he ain't there, but he is one of them.
Larry
And
Doby.
we're not the
Larry
folks to
Doby.
explain to you why Nuke isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Don't get me started.
I'm lost now. I don't know.
What number we at? How many?
Let's see. You said
Yes,
Robinson,
right.
Doby, Campanella, Page,
Irvin.
Irving.
So how many is that?
5.
That's 5.
5 or 7?
5 of the 7.
Oh, we.
Can we treat this
Willard
like Who Wants to Be a
Hot
Millionaire?
grease
Brown.
now.
And phone
Wait,
a friend, Ike. Can we get one? Give us a hint on the 6th one.
He played in the 1948 Negro League World Series.
I
Is
would
his
like to
first name
phone.
Orestes?
Easier one. He was signed by the Cleveland Indians.
Oh,
First name Orestes.
First
Hey,
name
Easter.
Orestes.
Luke Easter.
Who was the
No, not
Minnie-
Easter. Easter
Minnie
doesn't show up to
Minoso.
50.
Minnie Minoso, yeah.
Manny
Minoso.
Minoso. Okay.
And the
One more.
7th is Willard
One more.
Brown.
Please do not look on your computers to find this.
Willard Brown.
Ding, 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 ding. And
Yeah.
most
So
of you are
Dominic.
saying, who the
How do
heck
I
is
cheat?
Willard Brown?
I'm definitely saying that.
Okay, Willard Brown was signed by the St. Louis Browns.
Was he a Brown?
Lasted
Like the people?
less than a month because he didn't produce.
Hmm.
But he went back to the Kansas City Monarchs, continued his career, and the weight of his Negro League experience allowed him to be selected to the Hall of Fame.
And in fairness to the 2 weeks with the St. Louis Browns, the St. Louis Browns at that time were probably a more poorly run organization than the Kansas City Monarchs that Brown came
Then
from.
the Cleveland Browns.
He had absolutely no support from anybody.
No, we weren't that bad then.
Yeah, that was the glory days for the Cleveland
Yeah.
Browns. Come on, Otto Grant can't beat that.
But Willard Brown, and he joined with Hank Thompson. And Hank Thompson, after he was cut, was re-signed in 1949 with the New York Baseball Giants. Went on to win the World Series in 1954 and perhaps could have been a candidate to be most valuable player for that series. But those two guys were just cast to the side because they didn't produce immediately.
And again, they didn't produce immediately because none of their teammates, managers, or coaches would even acknowledge their existence.
But that they were there.
And they were in St. Louis, which was hostile to blacks at the time, very much so. They were stranded on an island and told to just magically produce. It was atrocious. It was an abomination. And I feel strongly about it.
And think of that. That was the same that occurred for the 116 men who joined Major League Baseball between 1947 and 1960. You were all by yourself. And every city had segregation as a rule. So these players couldn't even stay in the same hotels as their teammates, couldn't eat at the same restaurants. And that went from spring training through the regular season. And unfortunately, I grew up in a city that the Browns, St. Louis Browns, moved from St. Louis to Baltimore, but the hotels said they could not stay here.
Well, I'm gonna look those 7 people up. But I just wanted to say thanks again, and I gotta hop off because I gotta tune into the show. So I'll bid.
All right. Well,
thanks everybody.
Again, and
Thank
thank
you.
all of you
Thanks,
Juan
Lily.
Goodwins that joined us today.
It's been my pleasure. My pleasure.
And it was easy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Yes, user friendly.
Yay. We working on
Dominic,
it.
Dominic, we have our granddaughters coming over at 11 o'clock because
Say what?
Logan's allowed to go to the hospital now. So that's what I had to miss part of the thing for was RJ asking me if we'd watch the girls.
Okay. So that's in like 10
A minute.
That's
It
like
was a minute ago.
That's
Good.
a minute ago. Okay. I'm ready for that transition.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, you guys.
All
Bye.
right. Oh, that's the other Juan Goodwin. Fran.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
all you
I've been
Juans
here the
out
whole
there.
time.
You have been?
Of course.
Are you
And-
Dennis Hannick?
I don't know
No.
why I didn't show
No,
up
she's Juan
on the,
Goodwin, just like you.
I don't know why I didn't show up on who was here, but I've been here the whole time.
Okay, we just didn't know which Juan Goodwin you were.
Yeah, well, it's me. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Yeah, let's hope so.
See you next month, folks.
All right. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
So long, guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye,
Okay,
Gary.
thank you.
Peace and love.
Hey, there you
Oh,
are.
we see her.
No, I can't leave. There we go. Hold on.
Oh, and we didn't take the photo. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
I don't even see me, so I
A
don't
little
know.
late now.